Hello everyone, welcome to Global Government News. Today is July 3rd, 2010, and I'm Darko. I'm covering an issue that has to do with Iran and the CIA chief basically saying they have enough uranium for 2 bombs. And so it just goes back and forth with the U.S. and Israeli intelligence saying that Iran is ready to nuke the planet, and so we gotta employ more sanctions on them. So let's see what this article is from June 27th. I saved it, and I've been meaning to cover it along with the other two articles that I'm going to cover, and of course with Ahmadinejad's reaction to these. So you had the CIA. Coming out and saying this, and then you have the Russians basically coming out and asking why, where the hell is this coming from? And that was right after Obama just met with Medvedev, and they were talking about how great their relations were, and they were going to hit the reset button on the Cold War, I guess. And then all of a sudden, I guess that's what it means, though, when they said that they... Here, check this out.
Good afternoon, everyone. Please be seated. Over to Dan. After many meetings around the world, I'm delighted to welcome my friend and partner, President Panetta, to the White House. This is also an opportunity to return the wonderful hospitality of the President, Mrs. Medvedeva, and the Russian people showed me and my family during our visit to Moscow 1 year ago. Michelle and I enjoyed a wonderful evening at the President's home. Our daughters will never forget having tea in the Winter Garden of the Kremlin. And Mr. President, I hope you'll remember having a burger at Ray's Hell's Burger today. We just concluded some excellent...
So there you go, folks. Just some quick footage there on the president of the U.S. and Russia talking about having burgers and how great relations are. So keep that in mind. Let's go to this story. It says CIA Director Leon Panetta says Iran probably has enough low-enriched uranium for 2 nuclear weapons, but that it would likely take 2 years to build the bombs. Panetta also says he is doubtful that recent UN penalties will put an end to Iran's nuclear ambitions. They're talking about the recent sanctions that UN placed on them, along with the sanctions that are already placed on them by, I believe, the EU and the US. He says the penalties could help to weaken Tehran's government by creating serious economic problems. You're damn skippy it is, and that's how the alphabet soup agency operates. It's called economic or financial warfare or terrorism, and that's what is being carried out here in the United States by the foreign banks, international banks, and so they do the same thing in other countries, especially countries that don't want to be a part of this global government. They just declare economic warfare on them and employ sanctions so that they can't import any goods. They have to, even though they have oil and they export it and they make money off of it, they have to import their gasoline because they don't have the infrastructure to actually, the refineries to make and to refine their own oil and make gasoline. So, and they got all these old parts in their jets. So they're definitely hurting, and that is going to cause tension within the country. So, but that's how it all works. It's just divide and conquer, and divide the younger generation against the older generation, and that. So, but it says, will it deter them from their ambitions with regards to nuclear capability? Probably not. And do you blame them? No, I don't. They got Israel, who just wants to. They're waiting to go after Iran whenever they get the opportunity. But it says, Panetta tells ABC's this week there is some debate as to whether Iran will proceed with the bomb. Asked about the potential Israeli military strike on Iran's nuclear facilities, Panetta said he thinks Israel is giving the U.S. room on the diplomatic and political fronts. And that AP article about the CIA director was the same day as this article, June 27th, except that was at 10 a.m., and this is exactly 12 hours later, you have a Reuters article coming out saying Russia alarmed by CIA view of Iran's weapons, and Russia is kind of playing this game too. First they're with Iran, and not really with them, but they're not really against them. I mean, that's the game, right? They're not really for them and they're not against them, but they were kind of on the sidelines. They weren't really with the U.S., Europe, and UK, and Israel, and all them. Calling for the end of their enrichment program that Iran reportedly says is for energy purposes. But Russia's been kind of sitting on the side, and then just recently, in the past 6 months, Russia backed the Chinese. The Chinese as well, along with the Russians, have both supported sanctions. Right? They both supported sanctions, and then you have this: Russia alarmed by the CIA view of Iran's weapons. So, but it says Russian President Medvedev said Sunday he was alarmed by U.S. assertions that Iran may have enough fuel for 2 nuclear weapons, and warned that if confirmed, the Islamic Republic may face new measures. It says CIA Director Leon Panetta told ABC's This Week that the agency thinks Iran has enough low-enriched uranium for 2 weapons. We just read that. And it says in a quote, as to this information, it needs to be checked, Medvedev told reporters in Toronto, where he was attending the global government meeting Group of 20, the G20 summit of rich and emerging nations. Now, that's of the fucking New World Order. Elite scumbags, that's what it is. And in any case, such information is always alarming because today the international community does not recognize the Iranian nuclear program as transparent, Medvedev said. Russian leaders rarely comment on CIA statements, which is true. That's why I snagged this article. And Medvedev's sharp comments indicate that the gulf that has grown between Moscow and Tehran over recent months. Says the Kremlin and Tehran had a public row last month that the Iranian president Ahmadinejad admonished the Kremlin for bowing to what he said was U.S. pressure to agree to further sanctions. So there you go. That's what I was saying. They were kind of not really for them, but they weren't against them, and Iranians know that now because they did support the sanctions. It says urged on by the Obama administration, the UN Security Council, which includes Russia, this month passed a resolution to impose new sanctions on Iran over its nuclear development. And yeah, it's like it has to do with the banking. Anything with banking, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, which is their elite corps of military soldiers. So yeah, it's banking and economics, and the other thing was their oil. That's what I was saying. Remember? So they're gonna just basically put sanctions on them importing their gasoline, so they can drive their cars. And so basically, with that last article, I just wanted to say. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. I mean, this is ancient Persia, right? And you got the Western establishment of this global government and the ruling families, the Rothschilds, whatever, and you got the Eastern establishment, the Romanovs, whatever. But it's all basically just mafia families, ruling families, all throughout the millennia, just ruling over everybody, and including this area of the world too. And so they are just vowing for kind of control over the global government and the global banking system. So don't believe in the whole nation-state thing. It's a bunch of crap, and no state is actually really independent or sovereign anymore. They're all just different factions of this world government. But finishing up here on this Reuters article, Ahmadinejad calls sanctions against Iran pathetic. He says, this is from July 3rd, 2010, today, and it says the latest sanctions against Iran are pathetic. Ahmadinejad said Saturday, warning world powers that they would regret their bullying. In his first speech since U.S. President Barack Obama signed into law sanctions targeting Iran's vulnerable fuel imports, Ahmadinejad said the measures would not hurt the economy or stop Iran taking a greater role in world affairs. Do you see what I just said, guys? Taking a greater role in world affairs. They know that there is a sleeping lion in Iran, which is waking up. And if she wakes up, all the relationships in the world will change, he told industrialists. So that's the latest on the Iran situation, and thank you for checking this out.